Today, I'm gonna be cutting my guy, Mike. He'll be walking in a minute, so I'm getting prepared for him. And I like to find out in advance if I can shoot the video. He said it's good, so I'm excited. The reason I wanted to video him is because we're gonna have, he has straight hair, and I wanna make sure that I give you guys all my different approaches to different hair types on my channel. So thank y'all for tuning in, and we're getting ready to get started on this cut. Let's go. All right, so since I know who's coming and what they're gonna be getting, best thing I could do is get prepared. So I'm gonna grab my gloves. He has pretty dark hair, so I'm gonna try to use my white comb with it. No, I'm pretty much always gonna have my 1, my half, and he's definitely gonna be a 1.5, and more than likely a 2. And we're gonna do some clipper over comb with him for show though, for show. So I think what I'll do is pull that one out and, gotta hit him with the shears and the thinning shears, scissors and the thinning shears. So that way when he comes in, we're good. I always like to cut on a towel. That's my messy space. I don't like my station getting real messy, so that's my setup, man. Just to recap, about 2.5 inches off the top.
Yeah.
We're gonna ball fade it up.
Yeah.
And then we wanna make sure to cut this bang.
Yeah.
So actually, if I'm cutting everything 2.5 inches off, if you're taking about 2.5 inches off of that, that should eliminate that anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then we're styling it diagonal and back.
Yeah.
Let's go, man.
Right.
And then you're shaving the beard off.
I want to bring it back.
I'm just kidding with you, dude. All right, so real quick, y'all, I'm gonna, I always like to comb through, see how the hair is laying. Because we're gonna take so much off the top, usually I will go ahead and cut the top, but since we're gonna ball fade it, what I'm gonna do is just work on debulking the sides first, and then I'll draw my bald line, and then we'll start doing the fade first, and then I'll come back and cut the top. So today, I'm gonna use my ergos with my number 2 guard. So gracious to have clients like this who will allow me to do my tutorials. So y'all thank my guy with me. And yeah, so we're just gonna debulk it a little first. And I'm using this tool just so I could go ahead and kind of cut straight to the business. But you have to remember the things that your client said in the beginning. That consultation is important. He said he wants to let some of that length back there stay. So I'm really just coming up and out. And I'm gonna fix all of this with my scissors later anyway. So I just wanna give y'all a little idea of how I approach my cuts. I'll explain the first side, the back, and then the other side you'll pretty much watch it and fast forward. So right now we're just gonna debulk all the way around. I'm gonna close these up because they're grabbing the hair. There we go. And if you get this part over with quickly, you can spend more time on the details. One thing I learned is you gotta speed up the things that can be quick like this, so you can buy yourself more time on the detail. Because I'm a pretty slow cutter anyway, so I don't like to rush, but I have learned it's worth rushing through these parts. Just knocking it down. All right, boom. So now we got a nice canvas from debulking it. I'm gonna take my favorite trimmers, my Barbers effects. I'm literally just gonna draw my fade line around here. I'm gonna dip it back here a little bit. And if you notice, what I do is I hold them upright like this because they're the sharpest in that direction. But I don't wanna be too abrasive on my client's skin, so I'll do the balding upside down because the clipper is less harsh on their skin when you hold it this way. And then once I bald it, I'll come back with the shavers and make it even more clean. All right, then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. So what I'll do is I usually just go straight across right there so I can get an idea. Then when I bring them around this way, I'll face them and then I'll mark where that sideline is at. Let me show you. So I'll pinpoint that this sideline is literally starting at his eyebrow point. That way, while I'm over here, I can make sure that they're pretty similar. They'll never be exactly identical, but I want to get them as close as possible to each other. See, so now when I meet this in the back, I can look at this angle, and I could go ahead and kind of straighten that out. And some people will say that the shape of this line is not important. To each their own, man. Like for me, it is important. It makes a difference on how clean it looks at the end. Some people may say I'm a perfectionist, but so be it. I just want my client to look good. I want them to feel good. All right, so now we got a decent bald line, and the shavers won't get those long hairs. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of detail cleaning before I take the shavers on it. Otherwise, you'll be like doing the same things over and over. So you might as well get it as clean as possible now. And now I can move faster because I know that I'm just working underneath that fade line right there, that guideline, I should call it. All right, get some of these details, lower that a little bit. And you also want to look at your skin, your client's skin. Don't just be about the haircut. I notice we have a little ingrown right here. So you want to notice that and also let your client know because then they can pay attention to it and maybe not scratch it or things like that and let it heal up, or maybe they have somebody that can help tweeze it out. But the important part for me is to make sure I don't take clippers and shavers back over it and agitate it even more. So it happens. You just want to be more conscious of, again, how do you approach that kind of stuff. All right, so we're good. And then what I'll do, I like to use the shavers, like dust it off, like super clean. So I'm gonna clean my client up again. You'll see I clean them a lot during the cut. And then for me, I also think about how uncomfortable it is to have hair all over you for like a damn hour. So, hey, he said he appreciated it, so that'll work. The little things matter, man. So what I'll do is I'll dust the main stuff off of here, then I'll go ahead and blow dry it off. And it's like I keep starting myself with a new fresh canvas. And then when you shave with the shaver, you don't have to worry about, well, am I cutting over loose hairs or am I cutting over actual hair in the skin? All right, so I'm gonna use my Bronze Sport 9s. These are amazing, I love them because they have a self-cleaner and I'm lazy, so it's a winner for me. So I'm literally just gonna bald everything under there and it's just gonna give it more definition once we really fade them out. Again, man, I appreciate you letting me do this, man. My guy told me he was nervous coming in. I thought he was having a bad day. I was like, what's wrong? I was like, man, maybe we shouldn't be shooting this video. Let's talk. I thought he was really having a bad day. He was like, I'm nervous because of this video. I said, no, man, that's not, I don't want that. I don't want that at all. I appreciate it, man. I don't want you to feel nervous. I hope y'all appreciate my style of videos. I keep them pretty organic. You know, I like to kind of talk during the cut while I'm doing what I'm doing. It's not scripted. I'm just being real with y'all. So hopefully it'll help. All right. So again, one thing is you don't want to be too abrupt with these, and you don't want to spend a lot of time going over the same areas over and over and over, because you can really, really agitate the skin, man. And you start agitating that skin, it's like, it's not good. It's just not good. So now we got a nice little balded area. I'm gonna clean up a couple of these little spots real quick. Don't be scared to let it touch the faded hair. That stuff is gonna be gone anyway. For the guideline, not the faded hair, the guideline. Then I'm gonna grab my clippers, no guard, open it up all the way, and we're gonna make a #1 guideline around. So as you see, I could have actually gone a little bit higher here, but since he said he's gonna do a comb over, I don't wanna get too overzealous with it, but I think I will knock it off just a little more because I need to be able to see what I'm working with under here. Now that I see the area I'm gonna be fading in, I'm just clearing out a little more space, just a little more space. And you could actually go a couple of ways. Like at this point, I could actually cut his top now if I wanted to, which some people may think that's the smarter way anyway, but there's more than one way to skin the cat, and we'll see if this works best for you or not. All right, so now I'll take the guard off, open them all the way up, and I'm gonna do about a 1/2 inch #1 guideline right here. And some people do one side at a time. Again, man, you figure out what works best for you. For me, it feel like it take me forever when I'm doing one side at a time. So I like to go ahead get all my guides in all the way around, try to get them to match each other and things like that. And then I'll come back and I'll fade one side at a time, but I put my guides in all at the same time. And then what I'll do now is I'm doing cross cutting. So I'm actually going diagonal the opposite way to make sure that hair is as even as possible in that guideline area. And if you notice, this hair is always thinner on the sides right here. The back, this is where it gets the heaviest and thickest at. You're gonna see that some of my techniques I use on the side, I break the rules a little in the back just to get the effect that we need. But anyway, cross cut it. I'm cross cutting it right here. That way I know it's a true #1 length by the time I start fading it. What I'm doing here is I'm getting ready to bald out. I'm getting ready to knock out that bottom line now. Push that up just a little more. All right, so now I'm gonna close my blade all the way. Now this is so thin right here, you don't need to overly stroke it. You could almost just touch this and it's gone. It's faded, literally, it's faded right now. But now if you notice as I get back here, it's heavier. Back here, I'm gonna have to work it a little bit more. And I'm just using the corner right here. Just using the corner of that clipper. And I'm gonna go all the way back here to that middle point, that occipital bone. I'm gonna come back doing the same thing. And now, some people think that it's just stroking your clipper, but you actually have to look at what the hell you're doing, man, because if I just have one uniform stroke, well, there's different shapes of the head. He has a dent here, there's a dent here, it's smooth, it's a puff here. So you have to go with the shape of the head. You can't just stroke your clipper. It won't be even. So now I'm gonna open it 2 more notches up, about midway, and I'm gonna start scooping that new line out right there. I shouldn't say new line, the area right above where I bought it at. Start smoothing that out a little bit. And if you notice, I'm stopping right here because this is already faded. That's where a lot of people go wrong. Like the hair is already faded, but you feeling like, oh, I gotta keep following these steps. And it's like, no, you need to use your eyes and see, what do I need to do there? All right, so now that I've blended that out a little more, I'm gonna close them again because this area is not gonna just bald out like that. This is probably your hardest area to bald out, to be honest with you. This is why you see a lot of bold looking cuts walking around, man, because some people just don't know the game right there. So I'm just gonna work it a little bit. And as long as I get it close enough, it'll be good because I'm literally gonna finish that with my trimmers. Trimmers will go a lot closer. So now I'm cross-cutting it again, cross-cutting that bottom line. And you can see it's starting to fade out now. I'm gonna open it up again, halfway. Now I'm opening it all the way, because now I'm hitting a little detail work. I'm just getting a few hairs that are not coming off naturally. And you know what, I taught myself how to cut, but I really, I got better from studying other barbers. So shout out to Chuka the Barber, because this was a technique I picked up from one of his videos years ago, which was make that bar and then come back and bald it first. I used to do it the opposite way. I would work it down. And again, there's no wrong way. It's about what's right for you. For me, out of all the videos I watched and all the barbers I really modeled after and favor, his technique just seemed like one that was good for somebody like me. I was looking for a way to simplify my process and build a better system. So I adopt techniques from hella people, but his, I adopted it and then I put my own little twist on it. So again, shout out to Chuka, man. All right, then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we're gonna debulk some more. I'm gonna go up. I'll bring my 4 and my 3 guard because we need to clear out some more space now that we got that fade area started, because I need more fading space from here. So we're gonna close this up. We're gonna knock that out of there. Now I can really work. All right, so now I'm gonna switch from, I did a 4, and that just debulked me a whole lot right there, but it's still kind of froey out here. So I'm gonna go ahead and take the 3 and bring it a little closer. His hair was pretty long. So those kind of decisions, I don't wanna say these are just like general decisions. These are more like circumstantial, you know? If his hair was more recently cut, maybe I wouldn't have debulked the same way. So I don't want anybody in this tutorial to take it as this is what has to happen every time. It really just depends on the length of the hair, to be honest with you. But we're pretty good now. We got a nice little area over here. So in the future, I may just keep in mind to just start with a 3 up here. Start with the 3 guard, debulk them, and then we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. All right, so we're gonna dust the client off again. For me, I like my clients to feel like $1 million, man. So just imagine all that hair just sitting on your face for an hour, on your neck and everything, man. So it's a courtesy, man. And to me, you're gonna get a cleaner cut because you're gonna keep on cleaning your canvas over and over. Some people are lazy, they feel like, it's just too much, I just wanna cut hair, but no, it's worth it. All right, so now we're back to fading. I'm gonna go ahead, put my number 1 guard on, and now we're gonna fade. So we're gonna start knocking this area out. What I'll do is I'll open it up first. I'll open it up all the way, and I'll use that corner a little bit. Again, you wanna pay attention to the shape of the head. Right here is flat, then it bulks out right here. So if I just did the same strokes the whole way, you wouldn't get the similar result once you got to this area that you did in the front. All right, so knocking that out. And it's not gonna look pretty on the way, y'all, so don't get intimidated. And there'll always be some things to tighten up and fix too, so don't get stuck on it looking perfect throughout the whole thing, man. Promise you at the end, my boy gonna be fly, so don't stress. Right now, everything I'm doing, I'm rocking with it open. You'll see, I'll come back with it closed. Now that's where my technique does differ from Chuka. He showed, you know, his tutorial, he did the same thing on the bottom that he did on the bottom line on this new guideline. Me, I approach the new guideline a little more delicately. I come with it open. And the reason he did that was actually dope. He did that because it was about efficiency and speeding up. So, and me, I wanted a hybrid version of that because I'm also super, super detailed. And I just wanted to make sure that I'm not cutting too hard into certain areas and things like that. So, you know, it works for him though, because it come out looking super clean, so don't get it twisted. So now I'll come back and I'll do what Chuka did. I'll go ahead and close it up, and then I'll start hitting that bottom. So again, that front area, it's almost naturally faded on its own already. You don't have to go hard on that. You actually want to be super delicate on that. And then if you have any areas where you might have went too high like that, what I'll do is I'll open it up and I'll hit the hairs right around it, and it'll blend it in where nobody will even see it. I'm telling you, like your best barbers, nobody does a perfect haircut. It's all about how you finish it though. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna close it back up. And even though I don't have nothing against enhancements, y'all, this will be an all natural cut. So if there's any flaws, you're gonna see it right here. But I'm gonna show you how we get there, every step. I'm not gonna cut any of it out. Right now, we're getting into the tougher area. Again, this part doesn't fade as easy. Now I'm cross fading it, but you can see it setting in now. And you gotta trust the process and know that when you come back to that without the guard, or when you come back to it with that half, it's gonna finish it up, I promise you. So you can see it happening. Like if you watch the progression, you can see it happening right there. So now what I'll do is I'll look at my mirror too. Your mirror is your proofer. And with my eyes, I don't see that this little area is lighter right here. But now with my mirror, I see that this is lighter, so I'm gonna put a little more work on that front area. I'm gonna put a little more on that back. Boy, we might have to call him Money Mike after this, man. We're getting them details worked out.
Always appreciate it.
Oh man, it's a two-way street, homie. It's a two-way street. I appreciate you. So you say you see people doing what on YouTube?
They do videos on like hairstyles that go with certain face shapes. So like, I think I got a square face, so like the fade comb over looks good on me. But you know, other people, they have different faces, and like depending on how you want to structure the hair, you might want to like flare it out if their face is kind of narrow, and vice versa. So it's all about finding something that works for you.
Look at this. That's dope. That's dope, man. I'm blessed. So before we speed ramp and run to the other side, I'm gonna pop this one off, clean my clipper off. Uh-oh.
That's going into extras.
Yeah, you're gonna spray that. You drop something, clean it. Dust my guy off again, some of that hair off his face. And then we're gonna put that half guard on. And now it's time now you're gonna see the fade really drop into place, man. You're gonna really see it drop into place now. Because I'll show you with the comb before I do it. So let's just be clear. That's the ball line down there, okay? Most of it is gone, but when I hit the trimmer later, it'll be all the way gone. And then this is the next guideline right here. Most of that is gone. So what I'm gonna do is take that half now that I've textured that with the one, I'm gonna take the half and I'm gonna really blend that out. But remember, this is the puffy area of the head and it's showing up lighter in the mirror. It's in person, it's not really lighter, but it's a shape. So the shape can give that effect that it's lighter. So I'm not gonna go as hard right here as I am here. I actually hit the hairs over it instead of under it on this one. So I'm gonna start off with it open. I use my corners a lot. So right now, I'm almost just treating this section by itself. I'm not even worried about the rest of the cut right now, just this section. Then I'm gonna close it halfway. And you gotta be a little more gentle, subtle, because this is it. Ain't no more messing up right here. If you mess up right here, boy, yeah, you gotta figure out another cut. All right, so now I'll close it up, start touching that bottom line a little bit. And then I'll start touching right over that little shape. I'll open it up a little bit. Right here, instead of scooping it, I'm kind of skimming it a little bit. Keep combing that hair down. I'm gonna close it halfway. So really what I did was work in front of that shape and behind it to make them meet. All right, so we're gonna work the rest of this to the back. And we're gonna do the same thing. I started it with it all the way open. Now I got it halfway closed. Then I'm gonna go ahead and close it all the way. Drag that line out of there. All right. Take that guard off, open it up all the way, and now we're gonna really bring it home. Now we're scooping the bottom of that half line out that we just worked in there. And this is where it's really laying down, y'all. This one you can start getting happy because you know, boy, when you line it, it's gonna look cold, boy. All right, gonna hit this part back here, still the same approach. We're just getting that next guy out of there. All right, we're gonna close them all the way up now. Hit that bottom line a little more. So we're just gonna work that bottom line a little bit, work the corners of it. As I mentioned back here, it's not gonna fade out just on its own. I'm gonna open it up one notch, go a tad bit higher. I'm gonna open it up again, go a notch higher, open it again, all the way. All right, y'all see what we're looking like, boy? So I think you get the picture now, so it's time to do the same thing on the other side.
Hey, take notes. This is for a world-class fade.
Hey, let them know, man. Mike, you the first one in my video like that, man.
I mean,
probably want to talk about yourself a little bit, man. You got anything you want to sell? Got your YouTube channel, man? You need them to follow you?
I'm good. No, but I want to see you guys succeed, so definitely be following you guys after this.
Hey, that's fine, man. Appreciate the support, man. I appreciate you being down to do this too. That's dope. right, y'all. So we got the fade pretty nice. I'm pretty happy with it. And then we're gonna get his top trimmed up and style him back a little bit, man, and get him out to the world, man, so he could get out there and floss on the world. All right, so blow dry him off a little bit. We're gonna go ahead and wet the top of this hair. Don't be scared to wet it up real good. If you have straight hair, for me, cutting it wet is gonna be the best bet. I get to get it the most even. Now, do not, I know some of y'all in the comments gonna talk about how I mark my length. I know you normally do the guideline down the middle and all of that, but I'm not gonna do the guideline. I'm literally going to cut my piece that I want to mark my length with, and that's what I'm gonna do. You'll see how I do mine. So I'm gonna keep his head straight, arm all this forward. Typically, I'm gonna do it anyway. Typically what you're gonna do it for the video's sake, is basically, you're gonna make you one little row, one little strip. So basically, I'm gonna cut the length off that my guy requested to have cut off, and I'll take a piece of what was already cut and use that as my guide. And then in the back, he wants to leave it a little longer, so I'm gonna come at an angle a little bit, so that back is just a little longer. And then that middle strip that we just cut, some of y'all should know this from school, but if you don't, that is actually gonna be our guide. I didn't want to teach y'all bad habits because, to be honest with you, I don't use the guide all the time. All right, so we're gonna take these out, bring all of it forward. I'm gonna cut this where y'all can see it straight on. All right, so I'm gonna position that head right. So literally, when I do this, you can see long hair, short hair right in that middle. Wow. It just makes it super easy, a lot easier. And I'll comb it back up and I'll do it again. It's just to make sure to get it as even as possible, especially with straight hairs. So many strands, you want to just go ahead and do it again to be as consistent as possible. And then now that whole middle section that we cut, that will literally serve as my guide for my, like this side angle. So I'm gonna bring it back forward. I'm gonna wet it a little more though. Don't be scared to lose the guide because it's in there. You don't even have to worry, it's in there. All right, so we're just doing a little clipper over comb right here. You wanna be pretty subtle. Don't be too aggressive, don't be too quick because this can totally make or break the shape. You can do this with a guard or without a guard. I have the guard off of mine so that you have to be even more careful because any small shift, it's not that it will kill it, it's just that you have to spend a lot of time working to fix it. So you want to try to be as consistent as possible. I leave a little slack by not laying it flat on the head. I'll lean it off just a little bit. All right, man, it's not looking bad at all. All right, we're gonna take these trimmers, bald out this bottom, and we're gonna line his sides up. His front stays pretty natural, so we're just gonna line those peaks up around the temple, but you definitely wanna hit that bottom line a little bit. You see it's starting to set real nice now. Put them down a little bit. All right, so now we're gonna line his corners, but there's some bulky hair right here, and you want that corner to sit real nice. So I'm just gonna put my #1 guard on and knock that down just a little. That lineup gotta look good right there. All right, same thing over here. Gonna open it up a little bit, just a little bulky. Knock that down a little bit. You could have lined it that way. It really won't complement it though, I promise you. You want that area to have even hair. So we're gonna go ahead and line this up now. You just want to tap this very subtly, and you also want to be patient. Some of this cutting I'm doing is hover cutting, so you'll see me do the line, but you won't see me go back and come down. That's getting all those loose hairs on the way to that line that I'm defining. Yeah, boy. That's what I'm talking about. Yes. And you can do it either way. You can leave it there, fade that out, or you could even give them another little line up at the bottom of that one. I think we'll fade it out because the other side is not as heavy. Sometimes I like to give it an extra line down there, but today. All right, so we'll do the same thing on this side. All right, I'm gonna use my favorite pomade. This is a Suavecito Premium Blends, but we're gonna wet them up again. And sometimes I may use like a stronger pomade or a clay or something, depending on how the hair acts. But I always start off with my Premium Blends. It's like my favorite ever, for every type of hair. Yeah, he'll be good with this. Hair is moody. Sometimes it'll like it and sometimes it won't. So I always keep the other stuff as backup, but this is my number one go-to. So even though we did leave that back longer, like he said, it likes to stick up. So we're gonna put something down there to make it listen. Gonna take the thinnest shears and just that little cliff, y'all. If you take those thinnest shears right there and get those edges and keep it from looking like a rooftop hanging over.
Appreciate that.
That's all good, man. The little subtleties, man, make a big difference. I just like it. It gives it a nice little, more of a natural fall. Well, your back hairs love to stand up, I know.
Yeah. Yeah, you really got this sharp, man.
Hey, man. I'm glad we ain't too far off.
Yeah.
All right, man, so I'm gonna get you the mirror. And you know the deal, man. You look at it and you tell me if you have any changes or adjustments whatsoever. Don't worry about this video. You tell me for real if there's anything we need to adjust. All right, my man. Go ahead and inspect that thing and give me your honest any changes, man.
I think it looks good. It's just like, to prevent the hairs from sticking up in the back, we just maybe keep it a little bit longer next time, but overall it's a good cut.
Or you think even leave it even longer?
Yeah, I don't know, it's like, it's a problem for everyone.
Yeah, because I left it longer, but maybe we need to just leave it alone.
I don't know, maybe bring the dip back more, I don't know,
but we're getting there, man. We're getting there. I definitely think it looks good.
It's a great fade though.
All right, man, I appreciate you so much.